Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Pepelo Msomi. You've tuned in to transform my space with Mav Construction. Thank you for tuning in. If you love our content, please do subscribe, hit like, share the video, and do comment. We just came from an assessment, an inspection of a property for a client. Beautiful property they're looking to buy. So we thought it would be a good time to share some tips around what to look for before buying a property. Enjoy. If you're buying an existing property, there's a couple of things you must check to avoid some nasty surprises down the line. This puts you in a good position because one, you are able to negotiate for a better price up front with the seller, or two, you are able to list these observations in the special terms and conditions section of your OTP, forcing the seller to resolve them before selling the property to you. Here are some tips on what to look for. So the first thing is ask the seller to provide you with what is called a COC, Certificate of Compliance, for not only the electrical components of the house, but for the gas as well. This certificate has got to be at least 6 months old, and so it suggests that the property is in good standing and all electrical components are working well in line with regulations. In addition to this is the gas component, whether there's a gas geyser on the property, whether there's a gas stove on the property, or anything that is running on gas. That certificate also needs to include reference to the gas. Now, gas and electricity are dangerous from an insurance perspective, and so you do want to make sure that this is in place. So ask for the certificate of compliance for gas and electricity. The next thing to look out for or to ask the seller is a view of the drawings from an architectural perspective, reflecting the house plans. But here's what's important. It is very, very important that what you see on those drawings is what plays out in reality in terms of what you see physically in terms of the house. For example, a swimming pool must reflect on the drawings. Any extensions to the property that have been made must reflect on the drawings. So ask for your drawings and check that everything on that property reflects well on the drawings. The other thing you then want to check for, especially if you plan to do future renovations, is to see to what extent can you break down the walls to create an open plan. Now, open plan are very, very popular. A lot of people love open plan spaces. I love them personally, but there's usually constraints on existing property around which walls you can actually break down to generate that open plan you're looking for, especially if there is a double-story setup with a slab on top. You might be looking at walls that are load-bearing and cannot really be removed. So the point is, in some properties, you cannot simply break down walls to create or change it into an open plan. So be mindful of this. Some properties are located on a flat plane where there's a slope leading to the front of the house. In this particular scenario, you want to make sure that there is not only sufficient drainage, but the drainage has got to be designed very, very well, ensuring that it can effectively remove any water that comes in as a result of that property being in a floodplain. The other thing that you can also look out for, especially if it's been raining, there are normally signs that suggest or indicate that water does stand at a certain level. You will see a mark on the wall suggesting that the water has stand or that this property has flooded before. You do not want a position where you've just bought a beautiful property, but it happens to flood, in the rainy summer days. The next thing to look out for is some structural repairs or damages. Just purely from observations, you can normally tell if there is new paint laid on the walls to try and cover up some cracks. Just from observations, you can get a good sense of the depth of those cracks. What I'm saying is that if you see a crack internally, you walk outside, you shouldn't expect to see that crack on the outside. If it does protrude through the outside, it suggests that it's quite a deep crack, which suggests that there's going to be some major work needed to repair it. Now, cracks aren't a deal breaker. You can repair your cracks. If it's done properly, it can actually put the structure back. The other thing to check is all the plumbing work on site. Unlike electrical, you don't normally get a certificate for plumbing. So run all the taps, particularly the showers, and check that all the drains are working as they should. So you're running your taps and check that there's no flooding of the drain. You're running all the basins, running all the sinks in the kitchen to check that not only does the drain work well, but you check that the taps are working fine. You also want to just, by observation, look out for any leaks relating to the plumbing. It is also great to observe the property during rainy season, but it's not always practical to come out and view in the rain. But there you will be able to see evidence of roof leaks where the roof is leaking, some tiles have shifted, and when it rains, the water comes into your roof and seeps through to your ceiling. On this note as well, you should be able to pay attention to the ceilings, and there would be evidence of water leaking through the ceiling on certain sections of that ceiling. Now, any doors leading to the outside need to be located on a platform slightly higher than the platform on the outside, whether it's a patio or it's a deck of stairs leading downstairs, for example. You have to be mindful of a situation where the door is on the same plane as that patio, because what that suggests is that when it rains, the water will actually seep into your property. So check this on all your balconies, check this on the kitchen door, check this on the living area door, and check this on all doors, and ensure that you do not have that situation where the house is on the same platform as the patio, because that then suggests that water simply comes in under your doors and floods your house during rain. I've seen these kind of mistakes, so be mindful of them. We live in South Africa. We do not expect strangers at our doors, so it is not that easy to talk to a neighbor. But if you see the neighbor, say hello, greet, show a little bit of friendliness and engage. Try and understand what the community is like. Try and understand what the experience has been like from a security perspective. Try and understand what the general relationship maybe has been like with the previous seller. The neighbors can be a very, very good source of information, so that when you decide to buy this property, you are well informed and you do not have any nasty surprises down the line. Lastly, there may be some aspects of the structure that you have no interest in. For example, the seller might have some kids and they've got a bit of a jungle gym at the back. So check this and ask the seller to remove that jungle gym before you buy that property. Such things can be quite a headache, and they can be costly and time consuming in terms of getting rid of them. So do ask the seller to remove any unwanted items from the property, so that you don't have to worry about them. So my very last tip before I run off is that always view the property for the second time, just to get a second sense of things. If you love this type of content, please do subscribe, hit like, share the video, and do comment. Again, do reach out if you need some help with renovations. Transform my space with Mav Construction. We're there to help you. Please take care. Goodbye.